with HERway. Super excited to launch it with you today. So, a quick introduction about the show. It's to basically showcase women and what women have achieved. And everyone's here. Hi, everyone. Okay. Okay. And today we're gonna share your story and know what's your way and how you got where you got today. But before that, I want to make a quick introduction. So Hanady is a dear friend of mine. I met her through her article in one of the news when she climbed Denali, the highest mountain in North America. So she was the first Emarati woman to climb. We met and for coffee, and our friendship started from there. She have climbed 5 out of the 7 summits. She have 15 high altitude mountains. So mountaineering is a common sports between me and this badass woman. And she is in social media. So she's a social media specialist when she's not climbing. And she has a lot of cool things to share. I think enough from my side. So what is your way?
Well, first of all, thanks for inviting me to this. This is really awesome, I think, what you're doing, this initiative. When it comes to me, like my background, I'm Emarati. I'm also half Mexican. So, you know, I was reading the other day something about a third culture kid, which I've never heard before. It was pretty interesting. I thought I related very much. So my mom is Mexican. My dad is originally Yemeni, and by nationality, we're UAE nationals. So my dad moved to the UAE in the late 70s. And that has given me such an interesting background, you know, since my childhood. And I thought it was unique to me until, you know, recently. I don't know if you've heard of the Letters Project, and there was this these stories and this Hafiz stories, and I was just like, wow, you know, when you think you're it's just you, but apparently there's other people who have gone through similar journey to mine. It's pretty interesting, and it comes in different ways, like language wise. You know, I moved to Mexico, I moved to the UK, and then I moved back here, and I didn't speak Arabic really well. So, and then I went to school, and they were all Arab expats, and my Arabic was not local, it was not Emarati. And it was a mix. It was a complete mix. Lebanese, Palestinian, Syrian, Jordanian. It was a complete mix. And it was interesting. I had a culture shock when I went to college, because I went to an all-girls college. And yeah, I like talking about socially, like there were new things introduced to me that I didn't know about. Like there were things even later on in my life in terms of the Emirati culture, like I heard the word balalit, like, do you eat balalit? And I'm like, and I was already way half my 20s, and I'm like, what is balalit? You know? And it's a very Marathi breakfast. What's that?
Balalit. Maybe you should explain it.
Yeah.
As well.
There are these noodles, sweet noodles thing that Emiratis eat for breakfast. And I never ate it in my entire life. So, yeah, I mean, it's been a crazy journey, I think. I've learned a lot from living in this society, and I think there's definitely some sort of an influence from my mom's side and all that. So, yeah, long story from where I started to where I am now. But I've always been active. I played basketball when I was in school. Then I went into kickboxing. And then about 6 years ago, in 2014, I got into hiking. So that's been a new chapter in my life. I feel like I've been a different person since before that. Totally different person. Yeah.
Nice. And what got you into mountain?
You know what? I wanted to try something new. That's for sure. Like back then, I was going out with friends. We would just go for shisha, go out, coffee shops, restaurants, and malls. And I don't know, something was wrong. I I wasn't happy, that's for sure. I realized I didn't fit in. There was something wrong. And I would come home depressed, just sad, you know, and I would complain. I remember just back then complaining to my mom, I'm sad, there's something wrong. She told me about Meetup. She was like, hey, check out this meetup.com thing. There's interesting stuff right there. So I checked it out, and back then there was maybe a couple of hiking groups, two that I can think of, that I joined, and yeah, that's how it started, really.
Nice.
And
okay, so
yeah.
So our topic today is basically social taboos in the UAE. So through your journey, I'm sure you've been through so much, and you're like the perfect person to speak about those taboos. Can you tell us more about the social taboos in the UAE that you have faced within your journey?
Yeah, so one is when I started hiking, you know, I would take pictures, and I wasn't into social media, like, at all. And my friend, I remember, she opened an account for me on Instagram. She was like, you should use it. And I'm like, oh, and I didn't take it seriously. I think back then my nickname, and she was like, my nickname in life since I was a kid was Nudie, right? So and then she was doing the account for me, and she asked me, what do you want it to be? And I'm like, Nudie the Amazing, whatever. I didn't take it seriously. So she made the account, and she's like, use it. So, and then I started to take a picture here and there, and I always take pictures of things and not myself, because I think back then there was a norm, and still there, but there's this thing about women being, you know, I don't know, Emaratis or like Arab women being on social media, you know, showing their faces, etc. And especially here, or at least the circle I was in, wasn't a thing. And I slowly, like, thanks to Instagram, I met, or not all physically, but at least online, I found other Emarati women who were maybe not hiking, but they were in other sports. And I was like, oh, they're showing their faces, and they're showing their bodies, and they're working out. And I was like, if they're doing it, why can't I do it? That's the thing, like the taboo or whatever, where you're like, so what it's asking back, like, why is it a taboo? Why is it not okay? Like, if I'm taking pictures of myself and I'm not doing anything wrong, and I'm showing people what I enjoy, I was like, it's fine. Like, and I started doing it, and I tested it out and just waited for negative feedback. And I was like, oh, okay, there's no negative feedback. And I kept doing it and doing it and doing it. And honestly, I got the total opposite. I got all positive feedback since. So yeah, it's been okay. It's a great journey so far.
So, like, social media, the UAE, and women. So what I'm hearing is, can feel like a taboo until you thought it's not acceptable, but it turned out to be people are completely fine with it. Is that what you're saying?
You know, to some degree, I'm sure some people will always have some sort of opinion, you know, whether they're showing their faces or whether they're showing their hair, but I think if you're surrounded by a circle of people who, you know, give you that encouragement and say it's okay, then I think it gives you that push to, like, go on, you know? So yeah.
I'm happy you're actually showing it. You look very pretty.
Thanks. My sister did my makeup. She might be watching this, so thank you, Nadia.
Super pretty. Okay. Like, what about gender roles and the passion under the UAE taboos, social taboos?
You know, so I once got asked this question by a reporter, journalist, or whatever. She asked, what was the question? She said, how do you feel as a woman doing this dangerous sport? And I really couldn't get it. I literally took 2-3 days to kind of digest the question and analyze it in every way. And I'm just like, what does she mean? What answer is she trying to get out of me? What do you mean that, like, how do you feel as a woman doing a dangerous sport? I didn't get it. Like, this, whatever we're doing, it's as dangerous to men as well. So, you know, you sprain your ankle as a woman, you can sprain your ankle as a man. Like, so, luckily, I mean, I couldn't answer the question the way she wanted it, but I gave her a bit of history that people have been going up and down mountains for years, including women, you know. In terms of gender roles, like when it comes to my family, I've never been given you know, a direction from my family saying, hey, you can't do that sport or do that thing because you're a woman. You know, and I'm very grateful to them today, realizing that those little comments in life, as a kid growing up, can really affect you. You know, I played basketball, and people might think that's a guy's sport. I played kickboxing, people might think it's a guy's sport, and but they never said don't play because you're a woman. You know, it's been interesting that I think it does affect other people that way, and yeah.
I think we're getting a lot of comments as you speak, and I'm reading some of them. I just want to say thanks to everyone has been encouraging the fact that showing like your face on social media is completely fine, and the taboos, like people are pitching in. So thank you so much, everyone. Just to like go back to what you were saying. So family basically plays a very important part when it comes to encouraging whether men or women at this point, their kids, as the kids are growing up, if they do not hear those little encouragements, it's gonna mess them up somehow, or at least not help them do their passion.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's those little comments. It does not necessarily have to be a sport, you know. It can be, we're talking about arts, we're talking about dancing, we can even things, business, you know. It's those things.
Like ما بياخدوها جدية، بياخدوها بطريقة كتير سخيفة إنه شو عم تعمل إنه it's I get you.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have, like I've told you this before, like as a kid, I always wanted to be a singer. And I remember my dad coming to me, because my dad is such a career person, you know, he was like, you won't make money with being a singer. This is silly. You know, you need to to study, you need to go to college, you need to get a job. So it's still stuck to me today. I'm over 30, and it's always in the back of my head, like, oh, you know, what if I could have been a singer? So people don't realize, parents don't realize how things like that can really affect kids and up to their adulthood, really. So
what would your message to, let's say, given that we're talking about the UAE social taboos, يعني بحس, like, I think it's to all parents أكيد, but what you face is more UAE specific. So what would be a good advice for the parents?
For the parents, you know, I would say, I'm sure parents, again,
I'm sorry, I'm cutting you off.
No, I'm not going to sing. I need singing lessons. We need to work that skill. So for parents, you know, again, I'm not a parent, so, but one of the things, a couple of things, let's say, is communication with their children, you know, having that communication. I don't think children should be in that stage where they're afraid to talk to their parents about certain things, you know. And parents themselves, you know what, growing up, now that I'm a bit older, and I'm like about the same age that my mom was when she gave birth to my brother, and I'm just like, you know, you see your parents as a kid and you think, wow, they've got things figured out, and you realize that they really don't. I don't think parents have it figured out. At this age, I feel like I'm more mature than my parents, you know. So going back to the message, it's communication, and I think giving them the opportunity to find out what their passion is and allowing them to follow that passion, whether it's dancing, whether it's singing, whether it's art, like, don't make fun of them. You know, it's either they might be really good at it, they might be the master, you know, at what they're doing and become a big hit and they're good for life. Or they might actually do it for the passion, just for enjoying as a hobby. It relieves their stress or whatever. That's how they express themselves. And then, you know, it just becomes a hobby, nothing big. You know, they can still go on and have jobs or whatever they need to do. So, yeah.
I think, Kaman, the way the parents have been brought up is different. Like, we're in two different worlds right now, صح?
Yeah.
Instead of passing it on, they need to fix it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. They already couldn't do something. They cannot simply pass it on to their kids by telling them they can do that thing as well. I know we're in 2020 now, I think.
Yeah, agreed.
طيب. Now to my favorite question. What does woman empowerment means to you?
I know we always have this debate. So no, you know, it depends how it's used. You know, I get that 75% is about training and creating awareness, and all that, you know, providing the facilitating whatever women to achieve a certain status. But I think the word that really annoys me when they define it is allowing. I think for me, it's just, for me, I take it a bit like you're allowing women. Like for me, I don't like it. That's the only thing I just don't like about women empowerment. But I think everything else there, it's you know, the training, etc. Like I said, raising awareness. So.
Mona is saying community empowerment. We are beyond woman empowerment. Type, okay, I know, like, okay, empowerment is not allowing. Empowerment is literally, right, we're rising up all together, right? Yani women have been through so much. If I start, I go on forever. But when we say empowerment, we're empowering those who doesn't have a voice. We're not allowing them to speak, but instead we're telling them, look, Anna, I can speak, I have a voice, and I'm not scared of sharing the true identity of myself, then you can do it as well. And when I think this is where it has with empowerment. Hatta goes back to also Mona still texting. We empower the community by empowering men, women, the elderly, youth, people with this 100%. But now when we focus about women empowerment, لأنه this segment has been through so much from the history till today, and we're still pushing for more. When we look at other segments in the society, they're empowered, they are in a better position than women at this point. And when I say women, I'm talking about women all over the world. ما عم بحكي about empowered women. I think نحن empowered women, we need to empower. We have the responsibility. We've been through so much. You have been through experiences. I've been through experiences. And I think, like, we owe it to them. We need to give it back. And I think this is what empowering means. Not allowing, but like sharing.
Yeah.
You don't
think
like
I wish there was a better word for it. I'd rather have a better word than empowerment. And I'm just like, before the call, I was just like, what is just a better word for empowerment? And I can't figure it out within minutes. But like, yeah, there was a better word for it. I'd prefer it over empowerment. Sure.
Okay, so you have, okay, how would we rise as women all together?
You know, it's stuff like this. I'll tell you what, it's you know, when if you look at history, and you look at how Arabs, or even up to Spain, at least I've seen it in this region, there's always been the Majlis, right? And the Majlis was always men. And you know what? And I think that's the smartest thing ever, because when you're in this Majlis and you're full of men, you people who know someone, who knows someone, who knows someone, and you want something get done, it will get done somehow, right? And they help each other grow. And I think what's been lacking in history, we haven't seen until today maybe, is a lack of women majlises, basically, you know, where women get together and help each other out. Because someone might need a job, and you know someone who knows someone who's actually hiring, and you're all sitting together and you go like, yeah, get it done, you know? These kind of things, I think the Majlis actually helps out men. So yeah.
طيب.
Yeah.
So this is about 20 minutes. في كتير عم بقول لازم نحكي بالعربي، وعم شوف الكومنتس بس مش عم نلحقهم.
كان المفروض عربي وانجليزي بس yeah we got distracted.
Is there anything else you would like to add بالعربي? Like جملة بالعربي عشان نحس عم نحكي عربي.
ما مش متأكدة، يعني أحس تكلمنا عن كل شيء. في شيء بالك مثلا في Q&A في Q&A
ليك بعدني عم كفي ما في الكويستشنز ما بعرفنا نلحقهم. كان كله support and really nice. في any question? If there are any question, we're going to be opening questions for like the next minute as we wrap up. I think
isn't there like a Q&A?
People are asking for an Arabic. I think we're not singing.
أنا حلوة يا جميل.
طيب, to wrap it up, إذا هيك, I know I need a favor from you. هيدا is part of the HERway. I think your way is one of the most beautiful things. The courage that you have and how other women and humans can connect to you, given that the social taboos بالcommunity اللي أنت جاية منها is not easy, but at the same time you realize they're accepting, they're open, and look at you. يعني you are today a woman who climbed mountains, 5 out of the 7 summits, and I can't wait to see you on Everest. And I mean, you're doing amazing things. I would say empowered woman, but you say it your way. But I need a favor now from you. So I need you to post a woman on your story that I don't know and tag her.
That you don't know? لا قوية. أنت تعرفين كل حد يعني في الكوميونتي. No, you don't know. My mom. Yeah, she's on Instagram.
Okay. I'm sure she's inspiring. I think any woman can be inspiring. بس عن جد امرأة فيها تكون ملهمة للكوميونتي كلها. It would be really nice to have one. وبدي اياك تحطي one piece of information as a takeaway for everyone to use on your story. وأنا but I think whoever is watching أو عم يحضر بعدين, you should go to Hanady's page, Hanady Al-Hashmi, because she's gonna give away some really cool information.
Cool. Will do. Like the challenge.
Amazing. Everybody's still commenting.
على أساس في سؤال. I don't.
عم بفتح القصة. أنا عندي سؤال. UAE outdoors. What is it?
That's Khalifa.
Yeah.
Isn't there a Q&A tool? I thought. Are you sure you're pressing the right stuff?
I'm becoming tech savvy. Okay. Anyway, whoever have more questions, they can ask. ححط الفيديو on Instagram TV, IGTV, and you can post your questions there for Hanady to answer. Okay, Hanady, it was really good to have you. I love your way, and I'll speak to you offline. كمان.
Inshallah. All right. Good luck. Thanks for this initiative again. Thanks for everyone joining.
Ciao.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.